So last night I was watching John's panel last night, and Cyrax it's just not surprising about Cyrax though, man. I mean, they were trying to come up with some agreements and negotiate about Cyrax trying to make some negotiation, and John like, nah, man, I ain't going for that. John was like, man, if you just go out and go get you a job, man, put in an application, and Cyrax like, nah, I'm not going out and get no job and this and that, which is not surprising. It's no surprising right there. Cyrax, have you ever asked yourself, now you sitting here wasting your time away like you always do because they're making money off of you and everything like that. So what? So what are they making money off of you? Well, it's all my hard work and everything like that. Listen, Cyrax, listen. Why can't why can't you make the money? You have to ask yourself that question, Cyrax. You sitting here wondering why William Glory and all these guys were making money off of you. Why can't you do it yourself? If you're a very a markable person, then why haven't you made money for yourself? Because I think it was last year. I think you was on live stream and you was playing some music and you was trying to get people to donate you some money, and you really didn't get no donation whatsoever. And that just goes to show that no one is not gonna pay to see you, man. People just want to see you look like a clown. They would much rather see someone make videos clowning you than to sit there and listen to your music, man. You know, he he sit here and he put all this focus on John and them, talking about getting John violated with his probation officer and everything like that. It's like what I said in my video a few days ago. John and Will and Glory and all those other people on the internet, they would be my last concern. I would not even be trying to focus on them. But yet you sitting here talking tough on the internet, Cyrax, to John, and especially John, you talking tough to him, but you ain't did nothing to the people who's coming onto your property, the people who's banging on your window, stealing stuff off your property, busting out your house windows, busting out your grandma's vehicle, doing all types of stuff. You ain't did nothing about that. What else happened? You still ain't got back low T. Alex, the one that came on your property last year. The guy that said that he would do it for a pizza. The guy that knocked you out on your front porch, and then he swung on Ed, and you done nothing. Well, all you did was cry to the police. It's in the police report that, when Alex punched you in your mouth, your lip was bleeding, but you haven't done nothing. See, Cyrax is always the type of person that he always wants somebody to do his dirty work for him. That's the type of person he is. He ain't never been man enough to go out and do his own thing. Somebody always got to carry Cyrax, just like Sally is carrying you, Cyrax. That's the only reason why you're able to get on the internet and do the things you do. Because without Sally, you don't have no internet and you don't have no roof over your head, which means you don't have a house. Without Sally, you was history. She's the only reason why you are able to get on the internet. She's the only reason that you're able to do these little wacko videos and do all the arguments. As long as she breathing, yeah, you're able to do all these things. But it's all going to come to an end. One of these days, Cyrax, it's all going to come to an end. And you ain't doing nothing but speeding up Sally's death. All these people that's coming on your property and it's really causing Sally headaches. Even though when the police comes over there and have a talk with Sally, even though she might not show the effects, but it's affecting her. I mean, you can look at Ed. Ed already done said that this stuff right here is draining him. He said he don't know what to do with all these random people coming on their property, doing all these things, damaging their property and stuff like that. Ed already done shown it that this stuff is completely done drain him. And I'm pretty sure it's draining Sally. But apparently it doesn't seem to be draining you, Cyrax. Because you got plenty of energy in the tank to get on the internet and just waste your time away fussing with people, making demands. 35-year-old man wearing a ridiculous mask on his face, looking like a 8-year-old child. Like seriously, man, you look ridiculous with that mask on your face. Like for real. Acting like an 8-year-old child with a mask on your face in the dark. I mean, I've been telling y'all time after time again, man, he's got a mind of a child. That's what Cyrax is. He's got a mind of a child, and you sitting there making threats to John, talking about these people are gonna do this or that. These people are gonna do this to you. They're gonna do that and that. Why you ain't going after the people that came on your property? Again, man, he worried about the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? You got all that mouth on the internet, but when it comes to real life, you want to go run and tell the police. This is why I've said it numerous times. I couldn't really get into it with a guy like Cyrax. Even if he was to make a video and he was trying to challenge me to come to his house, don't go to this dude's house, man. Don't even go to his house and try to call him out, because the first thing he gonna do, if you stand out there on the sidewalk, not on his property, and you're yelling, saying, yo, Cyrax, come out the house and fight. Yo, Chance, come out the house and fight. He sees you standing out there calling him out, and what's he gonna do? He'll get on that phone, call the freaking police. That's the kind of guy he is, man. Like it's like a little child, man. Like he acts like a child. And you can see it. He acts like a freaking child. And you can just look at John and them, and they all just laugh at this dude. Say, this guy's got a mind of a child. Like a mind of a freaking child. This is all you know, man. You know, one of these days, Cyrax, you're going to look back at this. But by the time you look back at all this, it'll be too late. It'll be too late. But you're going to look back at this one of these days, and you're going to be saying this to yourself, or maybe you might be standing in front of a mirror to look at your goblin face, and you're probably going to come to the realization, and you're going to be like, man, I done wasted 9 or 8 years or 10 years of my life fussing with these people on the internet when I could have been trying to get my own life together. I'm sitting here arguing about these guys, a bunch of random people about making money off of me, when the easier thing that I could have done was just put in job application and start going out there making my own money and making my own way in life. You're gonna look back at this one of these days, Cyrax. Like right now, he's not worrying about it, because as long as Sally is breathing air, as long as she's still on this planet of Earth, as long as she's still alive, he's not gonna worry about it right now. But it's gonna hit him hard when Sally when Sally's days are numbered, when she hits the bucket, when her days are numbered, it's gonna hit him hard, and it's gonna hit him very hard. Because the landlord is going to revoke the lease. You know what I'm saying? They're going to terminate the lease because his name, Cyrax's name, is not on the leash. You know, if Cyrax knew how to pay his own bills and he had the kind of responsibility, you know, maybe Sally can sign his name over in the leash and stuff like that. But, you know, he doesn't have no credits. He doesn't have no history. He doesn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing at all. All except for food stamps, and that's it. But he doesn't have nothing. Nothing to show for. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Good God, bro. And you come on the internet and you just yelling and shouting and making demands like a little child. Like, what's wrong with you, Cyrax? Good Lord, man. Like, we all know who he got this from. He got all this craziness from his mama. Because that's probably how his mama was when she was alive. She was probably the same way. She was too trusted. You know, you definitely need to be in a crazy place. You definitely need to be in a crazy place, though. And I heard Sally back there yelling, talking about chance, 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 like you always do. Like Sally, be quiet. Like real tall woman, you ain't doing nothing. You over there complaining. Like if Cyrax gets on your nerves that much, then kick the fool out. But Sally's saying she find that hard to do. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It ain't hard to do. If you don't like something, get rid of it. And that's the thing that I learned in life. If you don't like something, get rid of it. Even though you might find it a hard time, even though it gets on your nerve and you have a hard time getting rid of it. But in order to want to solve that issue, sometimes you got to get rid of it. Get rid of it. And that's the problem with Sally. Sally wants to stay on reverse. She doesn't want to go forward. She wants to stay on reverse. And that's why a lot of people don't really feel sorry for Sally, though. And me, honestly, I don't feel sorry for her. Because any mother out there, any parent out there would have set their foot down. And I get it. The house is in Sally's name. Her name's on the leash. She can do whatever she want to do. I get that part. And I'm pretty sure Cyrax probably manipulated her to enough to where he said, Mom, don't put me out. This is what they want. They want you to keep me out. We know Cyrax probably told her that. And she's not willing to do that and stuff like that. But you know what? That's going to be her downfall. But I do agree with the police officer said. I do agree with what he said when he was talking to Ed. He said that, y'all could evict Cyrax. And Ed was like, yeah, I know. And the police officer was like, well, Cyrax is putting y'all both at risk of getting put out of that house. He's putting you both at risk. So I guess Sally's willing to take the risk of both of them getting put out the house. I think she preferred to take the risk. I know I wouldn't. Because I ain't sleeping in my car for nobody. Any parent out there, a real parent out there, they love their kids. Grandparents, mothers, fathers, they love their kids. But a real parent is going to be like, look, I love you, son, daughter, but I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not going to be put out on the streets for you when it comes to that. And that's one thing about my parents. My parents told me, they said they love me and everything like that, but when I go to jail, I'm on my own. They'll be there and support me. They'll be there to support me and stuff like that. But if it's some drama or mess that I created myself, then yes, I gotta take the responsibility as a man and go down to the courthouse and deal with it. But yes, my family will always be there and support me, though. But in Sally's case, I think she's willing to get kicked out of the house. Like she's willing to take that risk, and that's on her. That falls on her. That falls on her if she wants to take that risk of her getting put out of the house. But I guess she's willing to take the risk and want to sleep in the car. I guess I don't know, people, but it's just amazed me that a woman like an old woman like Sally been tolerating this long. And Cyrax, you better be counting your. You know what? That's why Cyrax saying that he can't be touched. Oh, that's why I can't be touched and this and that. Yeah, because you got a delusional grandmother like Sally, who's afraid to put her foot down like a real parent. I mean, Sally, you sit here and you waste your time trying to talk to him like the boy ain't trying to listen. He ain't trying to listen. You've been dealing with this for 7 or 8 years, Sally. 7 or 8 years that you've been dealing with this. He has no respect for you. If he respects you, he would knock this stuff off. He would stop getting on the internet and stop trying to argue with people and yell with people while you're trying to sleep. He don't respect you. He'll only start respecting you unless you threaten him, unless you threaten to get the police on him, unless you threaten to put him out the house. That'll sometimes scare him, but it'll get to that point where he knows that you're just bluffing and you're not going to really do it, he's going to continue to do it. So yeah, Sally, you can sit there and try to talk to him all you want to and make threats and saying that I'll put you out or I'll get the cops involved. Yeah, you can say it to him all you want to, but it's going to get a point in time that he's not going to take your threat serious. He know you're just bluffing. That's why he's doing what he's doing, because he knows that everything that comes out your mouth, Sally, he knows you're bluffing and he does not take you seriously. Cyrax don't take you seriously, Sally. Any other parent out there wouldn't have tolerated this long. It doesn't matter whether they special need or not. I mean, look at Daniel Lawson. Look at Daniel Lawson. Daniel Lawson still went to freaking jail. Daniel Lawson got kicked out the place from his caretakers and everything like that because Daniel Lawson didn't know how to show respect. He didn't know how to respect people. So you know what they had to do? They had to put his butt out the house. They didn't care if he was special need or not. They put his butt out. Because they say, you know what? They say, you know what, Daniel Lawson, since you want to be disrespectful, since you don't appreciate someone putting a roof over your head, Daniel Lawson, okay, bye-bye. Go out on the streets. See if you can make it. And ever since Daniel Lawson been out on the streets and been homeless, he's been miserable. He's been miserable out there on the streets. And Cyrax, you mentioned Daniel Lawson. You even said yourself that Daniel Lawson is a nutcase. So yeah, Daniel Lawson got put out, even though he wasn't really living with his parents, but you know, he had caretakers. Because I know you and his living situations are completely different. But yes, like Daniel Lawson had caretakers, and you know what? They didn't put up with his crap. No, they didn't put up with it. They put his butt out because he didn't know how to act right. He didn't know how to show no respect. I mean, Daniel Lawson had it made. You know, he lived in a nice place with caretakers, but he didn't know how to act. And then he started going all cuckoo and everything like that, and then they put him out on the streets. Daniel Lawson had to sleep on the streets in the cold and everything. You know, so yeah, it doesn't matter, Sally, whether if a person's handicapped or not. You know, people like that needs to be in a crazy place, and Cyrax definitely needs to be locked up in a mental crazy place. That's where he needs to be at. That's where he belongs. Because y'all can see that he isn't getting any better. He's getting worse and worse every year. And people like us, we just sit back and just laugh at this dude and just saying, bro, you ain't getting no better, bro. You getting worse and worse and worse every year, Cyrax. And it's funny to me, but his time's coming, people. Cyrax's time is coming. That's why he's saying that he's untouchable and he's in God mode. Boy, you ain't in no God. You ain't in no God mode. You just saying that because Sally's alive. Because like I said, the only reason why you're still able to do internet and make videos is because of Sally. Without Sally, you would not have no place to stay, Cyrax. You wouldn't even have a roof over your head if it wasn't for Sally. That's why he's saying what he's saying right now. So of course he's going to sit there and run his mouth right now. Of course he's going to talk that. 35-year-old man coming on the internet trying to make a demand. Boy, you need to be in a freaking crazy place. Like, real talk. Complaining about you can't make no money. Boy, go out and go, Cyrax, go out and go make your own money, man. Go out and go get a real freaking job. If I was in your situation, Cyrax, and I couldn't make the money on the internet, I would have enough common sense and be like, okay, this isn't working. I can't make no money off the internet. I need to go out and go put in some job applications in the real world and give that a shot and see if I can make money that way. Sometimes you gotta do that, Cyrax. Sometimes if plan A, if plan A doesn't work, then you gotta go with plan B and be like, okay, plan A is to see if I can make money on the internet. Okay, plan A doesn't work. I can't make no money off the internet. No one doesn't want to donate me money. Okay, so I gotta go with plan B. And plan B is to go out and put in job applications in the real world to see if anybody will hire me or not. You know what I'm saying? If you desperately want money like that, Cyrax, you gotta go out and work, man. But he isn't gonna want to work because last time I checked, I think Cyrax was complaining about his feet or something was bothering him. I said, I don't know how in the world his foot is bad when he doesn't really walk. He doesn't really go out and walk nowhere. So how in the world your foot's bad? When you ain't never really, you don't go outside and you don't walk up and down the street. You stay in the house most of the time, so how can your legs and your feet be in bad condition? You're only 35 years old? Good Lord, man. That just goes to show that his body is just rotten. You can just tell that Cyrax, his health and his body, all this fussing that he's doing on the internet, is slowly draining him out of his life for him. That's what it's doing. It's slowly draining him. He doesn't seem to realize it. You know, if Cyrax lived to get up in his 40s, he gonna see a huge difference in his health. If he even make it to 40 years old, people, that's a big if. Cyrax make it to 40 years old, which I don't think he will. I don't think he'll make it to 40, but it'll fool me if he does. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go to work. But I just wanted to make a video and talk about this though. But anyway, y'all, peace.